Namaste. Welcome back to Samskriti. We are in the 13th Sarga of Yudha Kandam in the Adhyatma Ramayanam series. After Sita had entered the raging fire fearlessly, there gathered at the place where Rama was divinities like Indra, Yama, Varuna, the resplendent Kubera, Shiva riding on the bull, Brahma, the best of enlightened beings, the Munis, Siddhas, Charanas, Pitrus, Rishis, Sadhyas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, and many others. Saluting Rama, the Supreme Being, they told him, "You are the creator of all the worlds. You, whose form is made of pure consciousness, are the witness of everything. Among the Vasus, you are the eighth, and among the Rudras, you are Shankara. You are the real creator of the world. Brahma, endowed with 4 faces, who is ordinarily called the Creator, is but a manifestation of you. The Ashwini Devas are your nostrils, and the moon and the sun are your eyes. You are the origin, the middle, and the end of the worlds. You are the one eternal being without a second. You are ever awake and ever pure. You are pure consciousness and the source of all that is good and great. To those whose vision is hidden by your Maya, you appear as a human being, but to those who always remember your sacred name, you, O Rama, appear as pure consciousness ever shining. Ravana had deprived us of our status and our prowess. Now that he has died at your hands, we have got back our lost position and honor." When the Devas had finished praying thus, the grandfather Brahma himself prayed to Sri Rama, the very embodiment of truth, and said, "O Lord, I pray to you, who are all-pervading and the sustaining force behind all, who are meditated upon in their hearts by spiritually awakened ones, who are above the pairs of opposites differentiated as acceptable and rejectable, who are pure existence and the dweller in the hearts of all, and who are of the nature of pure witness consciousness. I salute that Rama with gem-studded crown and with the radiance of the sun, whom undeluded ascetics perceive after having confined the prana and apana in their hearts and after cutting asunder with their firm determinative faculty, that is Nischaya Buddhi. I salute Rama, who transcends the Maya, who is the consort of Lakshmi, who is the original source of the universe, who was before all other beings, who is immeasurable, who is the dispeller of delusions, who is fit to be worshipped by Munis, who is the object of meditation for yogis, who is the support for all yogis, who is ever satisfied, who attracts all the worlds, and who is the quintessence of all beauty. I salute Rama, who is above the concepts of being and non-being, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Bhava and other yogis, who is devoid of all worldly attachments, who is indestructible, stainless, sentient, infinite, denoted by the Pranava Om, and heroic, and who is a conflagration to destroy the forces of ignorance. You are the one who accomplishes all that I pray for, who transcends all measurements, who are the consort of Lakshmi, who are the support of everything, who could be approached by Bhakti, who assumes any form in which you are conceived, who are the destroyer of samsara, and who abides in the hearts that are purified by yoga. I salute Rama, who is beautiful like a blue lotus, who is the origin and the end of the whole universe, who is transcendent and beyond the grasp of the means of knowledge available in the world, who is the regulator of all, and who is the one object fit to be worshipped with faith and devotion. I salute Rama, who transcends the bonds of all limits and all measurements, who is the object of worship by Munis, who will delight the Devas in Vrindavana in another incarnation, who is adored by Shiva and other deities, and who is the source of all joy. No man with attachment for the body can ever know you. I salute Rama, who is the object of discourse for all the Vedas and various kinds of Shastras, who is ever blissful, who is objectless awareness, who is eternal, who has assumed a human body for my sake, who is the Lord of Mathura, and whose complexion is like that of emerald. Whoever recites with faith and devotion this unique and knowledge-generating hymn of Brahma addressed to Rama, who is blue in complexion, who grants the prayers of all, and who is the Lord of all, that worshipper will be liberated from all sins. Hearing the stotra of the world's moral preceptor, Brahma, the fire god or Agni Deva, who stands witness for the whole world, appeared on the sight with the daughter of Videha in his lap. Sita, luminous like the light of the sun and dressed in a red cloth and adorned with divine ornaments. Agni Deva then said to Rama, the redresser of the sorrows of all surrendered ones, O Lord of Raghus, the holy person of Sita, whom you had deposited in me in the forest, I am now restoring. Please accept her. O Lord Hari, in order to destroy Ravana, you did create a magical Sita. Now Ravana has been destroyed along with his sons and relatives. The world's burden has thus been relieved. So, the double of Sita created by Maya, having fulfilled her function, has disappeared into me. Thereupon Rama, the consort of Sri, accepted and seated Sita in his lap. Sita, who was full of joy, who is inseparable from him, and who is Sri herself, the generator of all the three worlds. Now Indra, the lord of Devas, seeing Rama resplendent with glory and reunited with Sita, came forward in great joy and saluting Rama with joined palms, began to recite a stotra in praise of him in a voice which was choked with feeling. Indra said, I always adore Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, who is like a fire to the forest of samsara, whose blissful form is always adored by Parvati in her heart, who puts an end to the jiva's involvement in samsara and in whom Shiva and other deities take refuge. I adore Rama, who is the chief redresser of the sorrows of the devas, who, though human in appearance, is beyond all forms, who is worthy of praise, who is the transcendent Lord, who is supreme bliss, who is the worshipful master of all, and who removes the burdens of the world. I adore Ramachandra, who generates joy in the minds of all surrendered ones, who has become propitious, whose name destroys the sorrows of all surrendered ones, who is fit to be contemplated upon by those endowed with austerity and concentration, and who is the friend and ally of the chief of monkeys. I seek shelter in Rama, the chief of the Raghus, who is far away for those engrossed in worldly pleasures, but near to those who are contemplative, who is the source of all consciousness, and whose form gives joy to Sita. O Lord, you shine in combination with your Yogamaya in a human body assumed for sport. Those whose ears are always hearing accounts of your sportive manifestations are filled with spiritual joy in this world. I did not know you in the proper light before, inebriated as I was with the pride of being the master of the worlds. Now, out of your grace, this pride in the lordship of all the worlds has been destroyed. I adore Rama, who is bedecked with gem-studded armlets and with pearl necklaces, who is like a forest fire to the world's burden of asuras, who has got the face resembling the autumnal moon, whose eyes are like the petals of a lotus in bloom, and who is beyond the sea of samsara, which is difficult for jivas to cross. I adore Ramachandra, who is blue in complexion like the Indranila gem and the blue lotus, who brought peace to the world by the destruction of Viradha and others, who is bedecked with a crown and other ornaments, and who is the cause of joy to Shiva. I worship Ramachandra, who is seated on a throne more brilliant than a crore of moons, who has got Sita seated in his lap, the golden complexioned Sita, who is brilliant like a flash of lightning, and who is free from all sorrow and weakness. After that, Shiva, in the company of Bhavani, appeared in the sky in an aerial vehicle and said to the lotus-eyed Rama, I shall come and see you when you are received with honor in Ayodhya. Now, please take a look at him, the one who is the generator of this body of yours. Then Rama saw Dasharatha before him seated in an aerial vehicle. With great joy and devotion, Rama, along with his brother Lakshmana, made prostrations to him. Dasharatha embraced Rama, kissed him on the crown of his head and said, O my dear son, on account of you, I have been rescued from the travails of the ocean of samsara. Saying so, he embraced Rama once again. Rama thereupon worshipped him, and Dasharatha disappeared from sight. Rama now said to Indra, the king of Devas, who was standing before him with joined palms, O thousand-eyed one, On my orders, please pray a shower of Amrita over these monkeys who have fallen dead on my account and revive them soon. Agreeing to do so, Indra sent a shower of Amrita over the dead bodies, whereupon the monkeys who had died in the battle revived as if from sleep. Strong as before, they approached Rama in great joy. But the Rakshasas there did not become alive even by contact with Amrita. Now Vibhishana made a full prostration to Rama and said, "If you are pleased with me, deign to bless me. Be pleased to bathe and be adorned along with Sita, and prepare to start tomorrow along with your brother." At these words of Vibhishana, Rama replied, "My brother Bharata, handsome and devoted, is awaiting my arrival. Dressed in tree bark clothes and matted locks, he is immersed in meditation on Pranava. Without him, there is no bath or decoration for me. Therefore, extend a reception to the monkeys headed by Sugriva. If you host these monkeys, it is as good as honoring me." When Rama said so, Vibhishana, the chief of the Rakshasas, now presented to the monkeys, according to their taste, an abundance of gold, gems, and clothes. On seeing these leading monkeys treated liberally in this way, Rama thanked them all and permitted them to go their respective places. After that, in the company of Vibhishana, Rama got into the unique aerial vehicle Pushpaka, which was shining like the sun. The bashful Sita was seated in his lap, and his brother, the heroic Lakshmana, by his side. Seated in the aerial vehicle, Sri Rama addressed all the monkeys and said, "O Sugriva, the king of monkeys, Angada and Vibhishana, all of you, along with all the other monkeys, have well lived up to the reputation of a good friend and have done your duty as a true friend. Now, by my orders, all of you must go back to the places where you wish to go. Sugriva, you should go back to Kishkinda with all your soldiers. Vibhishana, be devoted towards me and stay in your kingdom here at Lanka. Now, even Indra as well as the other gods cannot harm you in any way. Now I desire to go to my father's capital Ayodhya." All the monkey leaders and the Rakshasa Vibhishana, who were thus thanked and commended by Rama, said to him with joined palms, "O Rama, the greatest of the Raghus, we desire to go to Ayodhya and see your coronation and pay our respects to Kaushalya. After that, we shall go to our countries. O Lord, be pleased to accord permission for this." Agreeing to this request, Rama said, "O Sugriva, you, along with Vibhishana, Hanuman, and the monkeys, get ready to start immediately and ascend the divine vehicle Pushpaka." Thereupon, Sugriva along with his army and Vibhishana along with his ministers got into the Pushpaka Vimana. When all of them had boarded it, that aerial vehicle of Kubera rose into the sky at Rama's order. Sri Rama was most exhilarated and felt very successful, accomplished, contented, and satisfied while flying on that elegant and majestic plane, and he resembled the four-headed Lord Brahma flying away majestically on his swan. At that time, that plane, which was acquired by Kubera after doing severe austerities and penances, looked like the sun and appeared all the more elegant, glamorous, and magnificent with Sri Rama along with Sita and Lakshmana seated in it. This Sarga ends on this note. Let's move on with the chanting now. Adhyatma Ramayane Yudha Kande Trayodashaha Sargaha Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Tatashakras Sahasraksho Yamascha Varunastatha Kuberascha Mahatejaha Pinaki Vrishavahanaha Brahma Brahmavidam Sreshto Munibhis Siddhacharanaihi Rishayah Pitaras Sadhya Gandharvapsarasoragaha Yete Chanye Vimanagrairajagmuryatra Raghavaha Abruvan Paramatmanam Ramam Pranjalayaschate Kartatum Sarvalokanam Sakshi Vijnana Vigraha Vasunam Ashtamositvam रुद्राणां शङ्करो भवान् आदिकर्तासि लोकानां ब्रह्मा त्वं चतुराननः अश्विनौ घ्राणभूतौ ते चक्षुषी चन्द्रभास्करौ लोकानामादिरन्तोऽसि नित्य एकः सदोदितः सदा शुद्धः सदा बुद्धः सदा मुक्तो गुणोद्वयः त्वन्माया संवृतानां त्वं भासि मानुषविग्रहः त्वन्नाम स्मरतां राम सदा भासि चिदात्मकः रावणेन हृतं स्थानम् अस्माकं तेजसा सह त्वयाद्य निहतो दुष्टः पुनः प्राप्तं पदं स्वकम् एवं स्तुवत्सु देवेषु ब्रह्मा साक्षात् पितामहः अब्रवीत् प्रणतो भूत्वा रामं सत्यपथे स्थितं ब्रह्मोवाच वन्दे देवं विष्णुमशेषस्थितिहेतुं त्वामाध्यात्मज्ञानिभिरन्तर्हृदि भाव्यं हेयद्वन्द्वविहीनं परमेकं सत्तामात्रं सर्वहृदिस्थं दृशिरूपम् प्राणापानौ निश्चयबुद्ध्या हृदि रुद्ध्वा चित्वा सर्वं संशयबन्धं विषयौघान् पश्यन्तीशं यं गतमोहायतयस्तं वन्दे रामं रत्नकिरीटं रविभासं मायातीतं माधवमाद्यं जगदादिं मानातीतं मोहविनाशं मुनिवन्द्यं योगिध्येयं योगविधानं परिपूर्णं वन्दे रामं रञ्जितलोकं रमणीयं भावाभावप्रत्ययहीनं भवमुख्यैः योगासक्तैरर्चितपादाम्बुजयुग्मं नित्यं शुद्धं बुद्धमनन्तं प्रणवाख्यं वन्दे रामं वीरमशेषासुरदावम् त्वं मे नाथो नाथितकार्याखिलकारी मानातीतो माधवरूपोऽखिलधारी भक्त्यागम्यो भावितरूपो भवहारी योगाभ्यासैर्भावितचेतः सहचारी त्वामाद्यन्तं लोकततीनां परमीशं लोकानां नो लौकिकमानैरधिगम्यं भक्तिश्रद्धाभावसमेतैर्भजनीयं वन्दे रामं सुन्दरमिन्दीवरनीलं को वाज्ञातुं त्वामतिमानं गतमानं मायासक्तो माधवशक्तो मुनिमान्यं वृन्दारण्ये वृन्दितवृन्दारकवृन्दं वन्दे रामं भवमुखवन्द्यं सुखकन्दं नानाशास्त्रैर्वेदकदम्बैः प्रतिपाद्यं नित्यानन्दं निर्विषयज्ञानमनादिं मत्सेवार्थं मानुषभावं प्रतिपन्नं वन्दे रामं मरकतवर्णं मथुरेशं श्रद्धायुक्तो यः पठतीमं स्तवमाद्यं ब्राह्मं ब्रह्मज्ञानविधानं भुवि मर्त्यः रामं श्यामं कामितकामप्रदमीशं ध्यात्वा ध्यातापातकजालैर्विगतः स्यात् श्रुत्वा स्तुतिं लोकगुरोर्विभावसुः स्वाङ्के समादाय विदेहपुत्रिकां विभ्राजमानां विमलारुणद्युतिं रक्ताम्बरां दिव्यविभूषणान्वितां प्रोवाच साक्षी जगतां रघूत्तमं प्रपन्न सर्वार्तिहरं हुताशनः गृहाण देवीं रघुनाथ जानकीं पुरा त्वया मय्यवरोपितां वने विधाय माया जनकात्मजां हरे दशानन प्राणविनाशनाय च हतो दशास्यः सह पुत्रबान्धवैः निराकृतोऽनेन भरो भुवः प्रभो तिरोहिता सा प्रतिबिम्बरूपिणी कृता यदर्थं कृतकृत्यताङ्गता ततोऽतिहृष्टां परिगृह्य जानकीं रामः प्रहृष्टः प्रतिपूज्य पावकम् स्वाङ्के समावेश्य सदानपायिनीं श्रियं त्रिलोकी जननीं श्रियः पतिः दृष्ट्वाथ रामं जनकात्मजायुतं श्रिया स्फुरन्तं सुरनायको मुदा भक्त्या गिरा गद्गदया समेत्य कृताञ्जलिः स्तोतुमथोपचक्रमे इन्द्र उवाच भजेऽहं सदा राममिन्दीवराभम् भवारण्यदावानलाभाभिधानं भवानी हृदा भावितानन्दरूपं भवाभावहेतुं भवादिप्रपन्नं सुरानीकदुःखौघनाशैकहेतुं नराकारदेहं निराकारमीड्यं परेशं परानन्दरूपं वरेण्यं हरिं राममीशं भजे भारनाशं प्रपन्नाखिलानन्ददोहं प्रपन्नं प्रपन्नार्तिनिःशेषनाशाभिधानं तपोयोगयोगीशभावाभिभाव्यं कपीशादिमित्रं भजे राममित्रम् सदा भोजभाजां सुदूरे विभान्तं सदा योगभाजामदूरे विभान्तं चिदानन्दकन्दं सदा राघवेशं विदेहात्मजानन्दरूपं प्रपद्ये महायोगमायाविशेषानुयुक्तो विभासीशलीलानराकारवृत्तिः त्वदानन्दलीला कथा पूर्णकर्णाः सदानन्दरूपा भवन्तीह लोके अहं मानपानाभिमत्तप्रमत्तो न वेदाखिलेशाभिमानाभिमानः इदानीं भवत्पादपद्मप्रसादात् त्रिलोकाधिपत्याभिमानो विनष्टः स्फुरद्रत्नकेयूरहाराभिरामं धराभारभूतासुरानीकदावं शरश्चन्द्रवक्त्रं लसत्पद्मनेत्रं दुरावारपारं भजे राघवेशम् सुराधीशनीलाभ्रनीलाङ्गकान्तिं विराधादिरक्षोवधाल्लोकशान्तिं किरीटादिशोभं पुरारातिलाभं भजे रामचन्द्रं रघूणामधीशम् लसच्चन्द्रकोटिप्रकाशादिपीठे समासीनमङ्के समाधाय सीतां स्फुरद्हेमवर्णां तडित्पुञ्जभासां भजे रामचन्द्रं निवृत्तार्तितन्द्रम् ततः प्रोवाच भगवान् भवान्या सहितो भवः रामं कमलपत्राक्षं विमानस्थो नभस्थले आगमिष्याम्ययोध्यायां द्रष्टुं त्वां राज्यसत्कृतम् इदानीं पश्य पितरम् अस्य देहस्य राघव ततो पश्यद्विमानस्थं रामो दशरथं पुरः ननाम शिरसा पादौ मुदा भक्त्या सहानुजः आलिङ्घ्य मूर्ध्न्यवघ्राय रामं दशरथोऽब्रवीत् तारितोऽस्मि त्वया वत्स संसारदुःखसागरात् इत्युक्त्वा पुनरालिङ्ग्य ययौ रामेण पूजितः रामोऽपि देवराजं तं दृष्ट्वा प्राह कृताञ्जलिं मत्कृते निहतान् सङ्ख्ये वानरान् पतितान् भुवि जीवयाशु सुधावृष्ट्या सहस्राक्ष ममाज्ञया तथेत्यमृतवृष्ट्या तान् जीवयामास वानरान् ये ये मृता मृधे पूर्वं ते ते सुप्तोत्थिता इव पूर्ववद्बलिनो हृष्टा रामपार्श्वमुपाययुः नोत्थिता राक्षसास्तत्र पीयूषस्पर्शनादपि विभीषणस्तु साष्टाङ्गं प्रणिपत्याब्रवीद्वचः देव मामनुगृह्णीष्व मयि भक्तिर्यदा तव मङ्गलस्नानमद्य त्वं कुरु सीता समन्वितः अलङ्कृत्य सह भ्रात्रा श्वो गमिष्यामहे वयं विभीषणवचः श्रुत्वा प्रत्युवाच रघूत्तमः सुकुमारोऽति भक्तो मे भरतो मामवेक्षते जटावल्कलधारी स शब्दब्रह्मसमाहितः कथं तेन विना स्नानम् अलङ्कारादिकं मम अतः सुग्रीवमुख्यांस्त्वं पूजयाशु विशेषतः पूजितेषु कपीन्द्रेषु पूजितोऽहं न संशयः इत्युक्तो राघवेणाशु स्वर्णरत्नाम्बराणि च ववर्ष राक्षसश्रेष्ठो यथा कामं यथा रुचि ततस्तान् पूजितान् दृष्ट्वा रामो रत्नैश्च यूथपान् अभिनन्द्य यथा न्यायं विससर्ज हरीश्वरान् विभीषणसमानीतं पुष्पकं सूर्यवर्चसम् आरुरोह ततो रामस्तद्विमानमनुत्तमम् अङ्के निधाय वैदेहीं लज्जमानां यशस्विनीं लक्ष्मणेन सह भ्रात्रा विक्रान्तेन धनुष्मता अब्रवीच विमानस्थः श्रीरामः सर्ववानरान् सुग्रीवं हरिराजञ्च अङ्गदञ्च विभीषणं मित्रकार्यं कृतं सर्वं भवद्भिः सह वानरैः अनुज्ञाता मया सर्वे यथेष्टं गन्तुमर्हथ सुग्रीवप्रतियाह्याशु किष्किन्धां सर्वसैनिकैः स्वराज्ये वसलङ्कायां मम भक्तो विभीषण न त्वां दर्शयितुं शक्ताः सेन्द्रापि दिवौकसः अयोध्यां गन्तुमिच्छामि राजधानीं पितुर्मम एवमुक्तास्तु रामेण वानरास्ते महाबलाः ऊचुः प्राञ्जलयः सर्वे राक्षसश्च विभीषणः अयोध्यां गन्तुमिच्छामस्त्वया सह रघूत्तम दृष्ट्वा त्वामभिषिक्तं तु कौसल्यामभिवाद्य च पश्चाद्वृणीमहे राज्यमनुज्ञां देहि नः प्रभो रामस्तथेति सुग्रीव वानरैः स विभीषणः पुष्पकं सह शीघ्रमारोह साम्प्रतं ततस्तु पुष्पकं दिव्यं सुग्रीवः सह सेनया विभीषणश्च सामात्यः सर्वे चारुरुहुर्द्रुतं तेष्वारूढेषु सर्वेषु कौबेरं परमासनं राघवेणाभ्यनुज्ञातम् उत्पपात विहाय सा बभौ तेन विमानेन हंसयुक्तेन भास्वता प्रहृष्टश्च तदा रामश्चतुर्मुख इवापरः ततो बभौ भास्करबिम्बतुल्यं कुबेरयानं तपसानुलब्धं रामेण शोभां नितरां प्रपेदे सीता समेतेन सहानुजेन इति श्रीमद्ध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे युद्धकाण्डे 13 सर्गः।